afternoon. Hopefully you all can hear me. Yes, there we go. Good afternoon. Thank you all for being here with us today to celebrate BCTC's 85th anniversary. We're thrilled to celebrate this campus and the impact this campus has had in our community. Again, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to be with us. Before we get started, I'd like to recognize a few guests in the room. So we have Representative Dan Pfister here, State Representative Pfister. And I know we have a couple of other guests who are joining us and should be here shortly. Also want to recognize Superintendent Sheila Mitchell. Thank you for being here. And I think I got everybody. I just want to make sure. Okay. Oh, I know. This lady right here in front of me. Florence Huffman, who is on our foundation board at BCTC. Thank you very much. Again, we're thrilled to have you with us this evening for this community and networking event. Community partnerships are at the heart of what we do and are of great value to us at BCTC. The Lawrenceburg community and our partners, not just here in Lawrenceburg, but in Woodford, Franklin, and all the counties that surround this campus are vital to what we do. We have a great program for you this evening. I want to introduce a long-term partner and supporter of what we've done here in BCTC, here specifically in Lawrenceburg. This is also our sponsor for the evening. So I'd like to recognize Prismium Group for their generous donation to this event. And I'd like to turn it over to David Mall, who's the maintenance manager for Prismium Group.
Well, I could just say it's good to be back. So I've been in Anderson County for the last, since I was a young kid. So we moved here in the late 80s. But this school has a large history with Prismium. We was once General Cable, to give you a little history. The company was built in '74. It was basically around going into plastic extrusion. So we make a lot of telephone cable. We still do. And we make Ethernet cable. So back in the 70s when it was built, most of our school, our people that we hired for electrical mechanical all come from Rich Technology Institute in Louisville. And then as that school kind of diminished, that's when we relied heavily on the BCTC Foundation. So in the mid-90s, what we were saying earlier, when this school was first built, of course it was all mechanical, a lot of electrical. I was one of there's about 13 of us that started the school here in the mid-90s. And we all graduated late 90s, early 2000. And as we grew up over there, we all started General Cable in '96. So as we kind of grew a little older, now we're the ones that's the old guys. So, but I guess it was around 2010, all the guys that started in '74, '75, they started retiring out. So within a 3-year span, we lost over 300 years of experience really fast. So we worked with BCTC and Workforce Solutions there in around 2015, and we brought in a lot of students. We brought in probably about 9 or 10 of us. So, and they've been working great. And we at that time you had electrical, you had mechanical. This school here I think was transitioning then at that time period. We joined with them. We took up probably about 9-10 people. Sent them through the program, try to drive more of a multi-skilled program. And that's where we ended. That's where we're at today. We're still driving around 9 people through the program. And I have no intentions of changing that. So one of the challenges that we have is bringing people in, whether it's electrical. I can find all kinds of mechanical guys, but having a skill of both is very difficult. BCTC, what we do is we bring people on the shop floor, because that's how we started. My guys started. About 50% of us now, that's in my group, we have about 28. About 50% of them started going through the BCTC school. So when Aaron called Andy and asked her for a sponsorship, of course he jumped all over it and he volunteered me to come over. So here we are. But you know, if that's Andy, he goes, you know more about this program than anybody in the facility. So, but thanks for bringing me in. And it's been a great experience, and we continue with Ted. Hopefully we can continue rolling on. So, and he calls me about once a month, asking me what's the next plan. So, but other than that, thank you.
Thank you again, David, for your generous sponsorship and support of us over the years. Okay, so at the heart of what we do here at BCTC is supporting our students, no matter what the journey they're on. And I'm thrilled tonight we have two very special students. They're all special, but we have two very special students that are going to provide some remarks about their specific journey. So first, I'd like to introduce Mr. Jacob Wesman. He is a BCA, or Bluegrass College Academy student, and he is a junior and working on a full load of classes, full-time student while in high school. And he is slated to graduate next May. Got that right. And so, Jacob, I'd like to invite you to the podium for a few remarks.
For allowing me to come up here and say a couple words. I started a BCA, or BCTC specifically, last year, mid last year, whenever I started my junior year, and this institution and BCTC has been amazing to me. Everything that I have learned, the opportunities that have been given to me, and all the community outreach and the amazing people that I've met through this place have been great. I'm a student of Anderson County. I kind of grew up here most of my years. I currently stay in Frankfort though, so anybody from there. BCA, a program that has allowed, I think, how many people? Is it 60, 70 students now to grow and get an associate's degree as they graduate and kickstart their career into wherever they choose. And I'm grateful that I also had the AP program of Anderson County. They do an amazing job at allowing their students to grow, and I'm really happy that I've met all the professors and all the staff from this specific location to help me strive and grow to be better. And I want to specifically thank everybody in this room for being who you are and allowing people like me to have this opportunity to grow and be better and strive to my next objective.
Thank you, Jacob. All right, our next speaker is Ms. Donna Crane-Jury, and she's going to share a little bit about her BCTC journey with you this evening.
A little slow, people. Just had a stroke 3 weeks ago, so I'm moving, but I'm still up and going. So, good afternoon. God is still leading me on my educational journey. I began my journey with Him back in 1970 as I graduated high school and entered EKU, and I went on to Midway College, studied there, and Kentucky State, studied there, and I finally got my first degree. But anyway, I'm here as a student now in the Donovan Scholar Program. If any of you are not familiar with the program, you need to get familiar with it. It's been a blessing to me. It's a wonderful program. It's where old people like me can study. We don't pay for tuition. We just pay a fee, which is wonderful. So I've been here 2 years now. After earning a bachelor's degree in organizational management back in 1999 at the age of 47 from Midway College, I had dropped out of EKU. I got tired of going to school and pretty much starving to death because I couldn't get financial support from my family. So I quit and went to work, but then went back to Midway and graduated at 47 with honors. And I thought then that I would never, ever enter a college room again. I mean, that was tough. It was a 18-month program, and it took me 3 years to finish, but I did. But that's when I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I retired from state government after 30 years and was at home, retired, and bored to death. So 2 years ago, after suffering from what I call boredom and depression, and it got the best of me. My health failed, mentally, emotionally, and physically. So I had a doctor recommend that, maybe you need to, you like to learn, you like to go to school, why don't you go to school? So that's what I did. I decided to continue my educational journey here at BCTC. I had never met anyone here. I knew nothing about this college or what it offered. I walked in here one day, met the most wonderful people that I could ever have met in my life. Everybody just welcomed me. It wasn't like, oh, you're old, you don't belong here. They encouraged me. Everybody from Alyssa to Rebecca to Mike back in IT. So I felt really at home, and I felt good. I felt good about myself. So I started as a non-traditional student again, and that happened, and that was a lifesaver. And I literally mean it was a lifesaver for me, and I'll share with you more about that as we go along. Studying here has kept my mind focused and sharp, battling short-term memory loss and getting lost in public. I do have early stage dementia. I was diagnosed with that last fall, so I've been battling that. But it's just, everything that I do here in studying has helped me so much. It's helped keep my brain active, and that sort of thing. Kind of keeps me from getting lost a lot. And right now I'm having to do online classes. I've had to give up in person. I love the in-person classes because I got to interact with all those young people. And I felt young. I felt like a college student again, I would say. And I feel like I helped them as well. I was able to mentor them kind of like in a mother role, and got to know a lot of the students. So I enjoyed that. But hip replacements, cancer surgery just really did a number on me, and I physically was not able to get out here and come to campus. So I'm doing online now, which still is awesome. And as my neurologist said, when she gave me the dreaded dementia diagnosis last fall, she said, Mrs. Drury, studying in college classes is your best treatment with early stage dementia. She said, I'm going to put you on some medication, but you need to stay in those classes because that learning is making your brain work. It's in keeping you young. So that's what I did. So here I am now, standing before you, and I'm going to have to say this, a very proud student and soon-to-be graduate. I'm so happy about that. And even though I already have a bachelor's, this will be an associate degree. But it's more than that. It's an accomplishment that I feel that I've achieved. I've struggled. It's been tough at times. I wanted to give up. But the ladies here, looking at Rebecca, the ladies here would not let me do it. She's in one of my online classes and keeps up with me all the time. So they just would not let me quit. My educational journey at this college has been a wonderful trip to gain more knowledge from challenging courses and caring professors. And I will have to say this, I give kudos to the professors, both in class and online. They have been wonderful always, even though when I walk into the classroom, they give me that look like, but it's a good thing, not a bad thing. But they have worked really well because what they would do is they would pair me with another student who maybe was struggling, like a student from a foreign country who couldn't speak English well, and they would pair me with them to work with them. And I was able to actually, one student in particular, just bring him out of his shell. He kept saying to me in broken English, nobody likes me here. Nobody speaks to me here. And I'm like, so we'd sit and talk, and I guess the professor noticed that, so he paired us up in a speech class, and he was struggling. Another student was struggling because he knew people couldn't understand him. He was so smart. He got up there without cards and knew his speech, but I really kept kind of encouraging him like a mother would, you know. And at the end of the class, he told me, he said, you know, you have become my best friend here. And he said, I think I would have dropped this class if you had not been in here, because he said, I don't think anybody in here likes me. So, which wasn't true, but that's the way he felt. So I love that. And but I like that because the professor, you know, he picked up on that. He realized what the other student was dealing with, and me as well. But then the online instructors are so wonderful. After I had my stroke, I had one professor that reached out to me, and she said, are you going to drop this class? And I'm like, no, I don't plan to. And she goes, well, let me tell you what. I know this has been rough for you, and it has, because the dementia was a lot of a problem. I couldn't follow directions is what it boiled down to very well. But she said, I'll tell you what I'll do. Instead of you doing Google Maps, I'm going to let you write a paper. I said, oh, I love to write. You know, I can write well. So she did that. And I think that means so much that a professor would care enough about a student to step up and say, I didn't have to ask her. I mean, she contacted me. So I think with that, I'm going to be able to pass that class. But anyway, but it's all been great for keeping my aging brain active and my damaged brain active. And as I said, after the stroke diagnosis 3 weeks ago, studying at BCTC has even been more important. The past 2 years of studying here involved fun, and they are fun classes, by the way, people, and beneficial learning experience for this elderly student. I have learned to improve writing and speech-making skills, as well as learning to appreciate our prestigious national parks and monuments. I'm in a geology class now, and I never would have thought I would take a geology class. That was the last thing. It was either that or math, and I'm terrible in math, so I went ahead and said, okay, in order to graduate. But it has been so interesting. I'm learning about all of our national parks and how they were developed and about their rock formation and everything that the tectonic plates and all that good stuff, to the point where I'm going to be visiting some of those. I mean, it's really sparked an interest with me, so that's been good. And then I have to talk about the staff here. And as I said before, they are the reason I hope to graduate in May with an associate in arts degree. They've walked with me on this journey. They've lifted my spirits when needed, and they've cheered me on to higher levels of self-confidence and self-esteem. I'm happy to say that after May of this year, with God's continuing guidance and the wonderful support of the BCTC staff, I'll be taking the advice of my wise neurologist and also BCTC staff. I'll be taking more classes, fun ones though, not anything that's got pressure or got to have a grade. I plan to
Thank you very much, Donna and Jacob. We appreciate it. So those of you that are following the program may have noticed that we had our student speakers go first. That was at the request of our president. He wanted our students to speak first. So again, we appreciate both of you very much and what you represent to BCTC. So next we will have our president and CEO, Dr. Greg Feeney, who will provide some remarks about our 85th.
I had two colleagues that are over there, and they said to me after hearing Jacob and Donna, why would you choose to go after them? Those are very wise words, but we all make mistakes. So, and I do want to say, I need to meet your doctor, because we have had doctors excuse people from class. We've never had them direct students to class. So I would like to collaborate on that. And you and your ambition are so impressive. And you do the school system here and BCTC very, very proud. So nobody tells our story better than our students. And this is a range of students that we serve, and there are so many in the middle. But that's what is part of the joy of this, part of this 85 years of our rich, rich history. I started, as many of you have heard me say before, I'm just finishing up my 27th year. And for 15 of those years, I was in the classroom. And there's nothing more valuable than what we do. And I often joke about people who drank the Kool-Aid are the ones that stay. And if you don't get connected to that mission and making a difference and supporting the journey of the students that we serve, you're not going to be happy here. Because it's mission work. It's not just a paycheck, it's mission work. And we exemplify very well in the faculty and staff that we have here. You heard both of them thank those folks. We exemplify very well here the people that are part of that mission. And I also want to pull out, so we're celebrating 85 years, but we're celebrating, more importantly, the student success during that. But we couldn't do what we do each and every year if it wasn't for our community. And that's the communities where our campuses are at in Kentucky at large. And so I am very grateful that we are here, and I am very grateful for the support that Lawrenceburg and Anderson County continues to give this college, and the valuable partnership that we have with so many community members here to help us make a difference, both for our industry partners and the students that are here, the wide range of students that we serve that are here in this community. So 85 years. So we started the year that the Gone with the Wind came out, 1939. We had 20 students as a college, comprehensively. This last year, we had over 16,000 students. That was our unduplicated head count. So to me, that demonstrates a lot of partnerships, a lot of work with our community members. Lawrenceburg, and it's so much fun that you were in that first cohort. And that I didn't find that out until tonight. But David, it's a blast to have you here speaking. If you were voluntold or whatever, I'm thrilled about it. Because that you were in that first cohort, it's just kind of serendipity that it worked out that you're the one speaking here, and I love that. So enrollment changed dramatically over that time, and that's through many of our partnerships, but we went from just a few students on this campus to this past fall, we had over 800. And I feel like we are still growing. And it was just a few years ago where we had plenty of space here, and now we are already at the point where we are talking about expansion, adding on to this campus. I'm looking at our legislator who might be able to help us with that. But the need here has been demonstrated, and it takes all of us working together. It's not so much that a need is there. We have to meet that need, and that's where all of us working together is just vital. And I'm so proud to be in this role, working with such an incredible faculty and staff, and working with such incredible communities, and Anderson County is Exhibit A of that, of how by working together we can get it done. So I thank each and every person in this room, as well as many of those folks that are not here. I do want to give special thanks to a few folks. I'd like to acknowledge Rhonda Wheeler, if you could stand up. I think many of you know, but if you don't, I will tell you, she's a former campus director and is pivotal in where we are at today. Miss. Are you? Oh, I love that, yes. Well, keep recruiting for us. I appreciate that. Miss Tiffany Drury, who is still, I think most of you know her, because not only was she have a history here, but she's very active in the community, and we are grateful for her contributions. Alicia Tidrick, who was here last week, but is not here this week because she has moved on, but we are grateful for what she provided. And then Savannah Michaels is right over here. If you'll stand so folks can see you. She is our acting campus director, and she has 6-ish years of experience at the college, very rich. She's been on this campus many times, so we are thrilled to have her leadership here in this interim basis. As our student speakers identified, I do want to specifically acknowledge our faculty and staff. They are the best of what we do in their dedication and the difference that they make for these two students, but many students like them. And so we are very grateful for that. Of course, Dr. Tipton and Shelby Hugel, who is in the back there, they organized all of this, so we're always grateful for the people that do. They and their teams do all the behind-the-scenes work. I want to give special recognition to a staff member that is from Lawrenceburg. Not only from Lawrenceburg, still lives in Lawrenceburg, and has been with the college for 22 years. And I have been publicly saying that she's abandoning us this year. But the truth is that she's retiring this year. And so I want to publicly thank her for her 22 years of dedication, and that is Deb Catlett, if you'll stand up. So as we would say in my hometown of 2,700 people, El Paso, Illinois, which most people haven't even heard of, Deb has done you proud. And so we are very grateful for all the years that you have provided your expertise to our college. So I encourage you to explore tonight in the celebration. So we have a nice history up out there in the lobby. Take a look at that. You can see the history of our college. Also, you have the opportunity to see some of our programs, specifically nursing and diesel, correct? We're good to go on those. And I heard just a little earlier tonight that we have a mannequin that is in labor. So if you've never seen a mannequin give birth, no joke, you have the opportunity to do that tonight. Things have changed in those 85 years, including the time that you have been here. But we are so grateful for your support in helping us make an impact for our communities, to support our local industry, and just as important, to support the journey and the success of our very driven, hungry students. And I'm proud to be part of an organization that is all about access. All you have to have is an interest, and we're going to support you on your journey. Thank you so much.
So that really for being here. We hope you stick around. As Dr. Feeney said, we have tours of our nursing program as well as our diesel program. There's plenty of food still available. So, and then also Shelby's reminding me at the back. Thank you, Shelby. We have gifts along the wall here. We'd like each of you to take one. So again, thank you so much for your time and being here with us this evening to celebrate our 85th. Thank you.